Jiu-Jitsu's changed a lot as far as there's a lot of businesses involved in Jiu-Jitsu. The federation is huge. There's world tournaments outside of Brazil now. A lot of people are bouncing around, changing affiliations, which brings me to my question. First of all, what does creonte mean?
Creonte is a creation of Carson. Grandmaster Carson Gracie passed away. Great guy, you know, I'm a big fan of him. Creonte was there was a soap opera in Brazil, and the soap opera, there was this guy called Creonte, and this guy was like a really like a snake, you know, a guy who would betray everybody, a guy who would not be loyal to anything. And then everybody who was leaving Carson's team, Carson would say, "Oh man, that creonte," that way he said. And because of him saying that, everybody began to do, you know, creonte. So creonte turned to be the guy who leaves his team or family without a valid reason, just because, and this is the creonte. Back then, it was a big deal, man. I mean, if you leave your team to go to somebody else, people would like, man, how could you do that? Nowadays, I mean, it's kind of normal. But I'm old school, you know, as you know. I'm a little older and I'm old school too. I think that you should be loyal to your flag, and for you to leave your flag has to be something extremely grave and hard for you to leave. Not just because of the reason that people say nowadays. Sometimes I read interviews, man, it makes me laugh. It makes me laugh. Oh, I laugh because of like silly things, you know. I have to think that they just think about themselves. They don't have any group or any family-oriented idea. And they cannot blame their students when they leave them. Because if they blame, they're going to say, well, I'm doing exactly what you do. Why are you complaining? And they have to shut up. You know, nobody can say that about me.
Now, to play devil's advocate, some people might say, I'm paying you for a service, and if I decide I want to pay somebody else, I can. It's my right as a consumer.
Totally true. And when we talk about creonte, you talk about people who doesn't pay the scholarships. And you know what? It's funny. The guy who pays almost never leaves you. The guy who doesn't pay leaves you. The guy who doesn't pay, the guy who brings you more troubles, the guy who creates gossip, creates drama. He thinks he's better than you. He thinks you don't think right. So the creonte thing comes from the guy who doesn't pay.
Makes sense.
You know, so that's what you see, and that's what happens.